Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I thought that this broadcast was going to be focusing on a story that I believe to be partially correct about the Amish community in Pennsylvania that has now achieved herd immunity. And the thing about herd immunity is, according to the WHO, definitions have changed that incorporate a little thing called the boop boop. Now here's the thing about the Amish, no boopity boop for them. So we have that achievement, but now there's a caveat to the story, as literally moments ago, the Washington Post has now confirmed that the Biden administration wants an Excelsior-like boop boop passport for travel, okay, and going into businesses. This is the takeover. This is the takeover. This is the takeover. It has nothing to do with the virus. Nothing to do with the virus at this point at all. Zero, zip, zilch. As you've seen the last 3 nights, I have called fights amongst hundreds. I have gone to after parties. I have been amongst tens of thousands of people across the country. And the media and the experts have the gall to tell you that the flu didn't come to the southern hemisphere of the planet, acting like everybody did the same thing. It's not true. It's fantasy land. Meanwhile, they're not going to be focusing on reality and science, but they'll tell you to follow the science. Okay? And of course, we have to be super careful of what we say on YouTube, because we now have 2 strikes, you know, and that was 3 things that happened, 2 of which were daring. And I kind of keep going back to it because it blows my mind that the people that are so brainwashed to believe this can't see that doctors trying to save lives at Senate hearings and then being censored by this platform matter. I'll have to leave it at that. They don't want to acknowledge the studies that this guy talked about. We might go a little harder at the end of this broadcast at a place called rockfin.com. ROKFIN.com. If you do not have your free account, now is the time to do so that you can join us when I get to tell you how I really feel. Until then, thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burms Brigade, check out all the documentary films for free. Links down below to support me. At Jason Burms is not only my Twitter handle, it's also my Venmo. So that's how you can support me right now. I was going to make another GoFundMe. I deactivated all my other GoFundMes. I was able to log in. And then I went to create a new account, and then I'm locked out. So I don't know what I'm doing there. And we all know that, you know, big tech censorship is making their way all around. People are getting banned from things like PayPal. This is madness. But with that being said, Amish community in Pennsylvania becomes the first in the U.S. to achieve herd immunity after reopening churches led to 90% of households being infected with the virus last year. Now, I just want to reiterate that there is absolutely zero evidence that this is the first community in the United States to achieve herd immunity, that Rand Paul has challenged the idea that we have not already achieved that. Just pointing that out. But again, you know, even Wikipedia now, even though they're not the WHO, in their little definition of this, right, they add the boop boop word now. It's a little boopity boop. Boopity boop 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 bop boopity boop bop boop. No boops here though. And that's why I'm using this as simple jack logic for y'all. All right? If they were able to get over it, and we all know that the vast majority of us have been to a store, have socialized. Yeah, but Jason, I wore my paper mask. Come on now. Remember, when you get the boop boop, they don't care if you've already got the virus. Okay? And they talk about previous infection. Okay? See, that's the actual definition? Look. Okay, here's what it's always been. Boom, previous infections. They didn't even test you for that. And then if you did have that, they still encourage you to do it. Okay? Do you get it? Do you understand? And now, the Biden administration is, and this guy, hell yeah, now make this required everywhere. I'm a bootlicker. I'm a slave. This is it, man. Get with it. They have launched their Excelsior Pass. Excelsior. And, someone pointed this out. It is kind of odd that in the last few years, New York, on their license plate, put Excelsior. Yeah, I'm just saying predictive programming is out there. These type of things do exist. Not only does the predator class love throwing it in your face, when you look at the practice of what occultism is, it's just hidden knowledge, right? And later on today, I wanted to bring up occultism just really briefly because I've got Jay Dyer coming on in about 3.5 hours. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. But when you see this line of literally satanic shoes with a launch of a very bizarre I'll just leave it at erotic satanic video that's come out and is going to be mainlined. It's like, look, I get it that, Hollywood and entertainment wants to push the limits, but this is like over the top. And there's no outrage for it. It's the push. It's the transhumanist push. It's making you believe that any kind of religion or morality is just mythology, especially morality in which family is the core, okay, and love and understanding is the goal. And you think that it just goes to boopity-boop passports. It's not going to. Vehicle mileage tax could be on the table in infrastructure talks. Now think about this. You already pay a gas tax. That's really the mileage tax. But this is also about track, trace, database, and limiting your movement. Encouraging what? Telework. Encouraging teleeducation, and encouraging more authoritarian control of your life. So you'll have a box. It doesn't, listen, you've already got your phone on you. They're going to say, well, you were moving it 40, 50 miles an hour, so obviously we're in a vehicle. When you try to skirt it, when you try to skirt their machine. This is insanity. Meanwhile, the predator class and their public entities, and by that, I mean their business infrastructures that do their bidding, right? All ride tax-free, baby. All ride the corporate welfare train. This is for the serf class. This is for the plebes. And if you watched my Biden watch-along on that press conference, not that we found out a bunch more, right? But he's reading off of cue cards. He's got pre-planned answers. He's got a picture book to know who to call on. The questions are completely framed in the mainstream narrative to try to make him into a moral and decent human being, that he's supposedly the most popular president ever, as he rambles on, can't answer certain questions at all, doesn't know what he's saying, says that he was in the Senate 120 years ago, and suggested there might not be a second political party in this country in 4 years. We already basically have a uniparty. And I have been warning many of you now, well over a decade, this facade of a climate emergency. Remember, it was global warming. It's not global warming anymore. It's climate change. Was a tax trace database on top of track, right? Because I've always talked about the track trace database society. But as we get into the taxation model and the social credit score model, it's about complete control. And again, they tell you this social credit score is going to be based on morality. You're telling me Klaus Schwab and Eric Schmidt are moral people? Eric Schmidt just signed a petition with a bunch of other tech elites to try to keep Gavin Newsom in office. The national security guy, the China guy, the New World Order guy. the new digital age guy. This guy reshaping the future of people, nations, and businesses. If you don't think that guy is all smiles with the consolidation of power that has happened over the last year plus, you're out of your mind. And it is the one key thing and key point I made when this all happened. I said, no matter what happens, the solution will be worse than the virus, no matter what, and that the predator class will consolidate power and resources. Go back a year. Go watch my broadcast right around March and April. I said it every single time, and I was spot on. So here's what we're going to do, okay? There are certain things that I can't say on the YouTube platform. We're going to move over to rockfin.com. Go make the free account right now. It is free and streaming live. And come join us over there. Because when we're talking about boop passports and Excelsior and Cuomo, I got to be real careful. Because now that the district attorney in New York is looking at these allegations and taking people's testimony for the sexual misconduct stuff, who cares? Who cares about the sexual misconduct stuff? I can't believe it. So Rockfin.com, rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. And that's a great way to also support me. $9.99 a month gets you the premium, gets you the archives, gets you everybody else's premium content on top of it when you endorse this channel. So that being said, I love you guys over at YouTube.